in the sky right now. That's actually a little bit ridiculous. That cloud is crazy. And this is what you want to avoid in ZvZ, is the smaller you can keep that mutacloud, the better. Like, if he can manage to harass you and not lose those mutas, they all of a sudden that cloud just gets bigger and bigger, and it doesn't at that point matter if you have spine crawlers or if you have a decent number of hydras, because they can just start to, go to town. But actually, good choice pulling back. There's just a few too many hydras there with the spore crawler to support them. But again, don't give them any leeway. Grab those drones, snipe off a hydra or two in the open if you can. But again, don't overcommit, because there's enough hydras there where they could, even though you might kill them, you'll lose almost all your mutas, and it's just simply not worth it. And checking out the income tab, 30 to 20, so this is definitely a back and forth game. And I think for Ren, he just needs more aggression. He needs to be far, far more aggressive with what he's doing, and just checking this out. 6 more mutas popping out. There's a second Spire going down, which means that he probably plans on running dual upgrades. As far as that goes, I very rarely see this. I know I've done it when I want to get Broodlords out on the field, where one Spire will be mutating, then I want to upgrade with the other one, but that's usually a very late game strategy when you run that. Not like we need 2 Spires to produce an infinitely large number of troops. And neither player choosing to really do too much more as far as the economy goes. I have no idea why these roaches are sitting back here, but if we take a look at this, all he has is this group of hydras, and that mutacloud is big enough right now where it could just steamroll over the hydras. I'd really like to see some upgrades come down. There we go. There's one attack upgrade, centrifugal hooks for the banglings. So he's going to build some banglings and then move in with banglings and mutas and just steamroll the hell out of those hydras. And I like that strategy. It has worked very well for me in the past, and I can't imagine that wouldn't work well here. Taking a look at this, both players' main base is getting pretty low on minerals. They both should be seeking a third expansion, and if I were in Normalisk's position right now, I would definitely be seeking a third, if not a fourth, and just abuse the fact that I have map control and that he's going to have to keep the hydras back at his bases if he wants to defend his precious workers. Like 3 spine crawlers when you've got 20 mutas, you're almost looking at one-shotting, 2 or 3 shotting this building, and just gotta move in and start attacking stuff. But again, with that cloud of hydras, the queen, and the spore crawler there, that's just a bad situation. They're all excellent AA and mutas, kind of like glass cannons. That's how a lot of Zerg units are, just high DPS, but, look at these nasty little guys. They're like bats, like num 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 num. They just want to chew up everything, and just want to eat stuff. So, checking this out, income tab again, 36 to 27, so gotta commend Normalisk on doing a really good job at picking that economy back up, especially over Ren, which is really why Ren seems like he's in the behind end on this game, is because he has done very little in terms of trying to re-drone up. He's produced units, and he's probably wondering why his army is so small right now, and that's realistically because very few drones. So there we go. I like the play at the back high yield. I'd control the Xel'Nagas and just abuse the fact that I have map control. In fact, I'd take this expansion, break down the rocks, and take this expansion if I had the money to do it. But both players, just because their saturation is a little low, for both of them, I can definitely see that. And there we go. I'm going to break down the rocks. Mutas do far better at breaking down rocks. And I'm glad you didn't throw your banglings away against the rocks. That would just be absolutely ridiculous. Not downright silly. Look at the planet floating in the background. It's watching this epic battle take place in space. No one else can hear you scream. But fortunately that we're in space, game sound still works, so I can still hear everything that's going on, which is definitely a good thing, because I enjoy game sound. It makes me happy. And we actually have Burrow coming down right now, +1 armor, more Zerglings. Very interesting choices of tech, and I'm really not sure if Ren knows what's going on, but he's choosing to push out with this big ball of roaches and hydras, and this is the composition that Normalisk really wants to see, because his banglings are going to absolutely destroy those roaches and hydras. There's nothing they're really going to be able to do about it. And right now, he's actually deciding to pull his troops back because he knows where the enemy is. That Xel'Naga did not grant him, vision over to the fact that Normalisk is now running off of a high yield expansion as well. Banglings hidden in the smoke. I absolutely love that play. And he's going to wait for him to break down the rocks. Woohoo! Oh, there we go. Face melt. Face melt. Oh, beautiful banglings. You make me so happy. Now just a little group of Zerglings and some Mutalisks. Gonna clean up this army very, very easily. And I really do not see Ren coming back from this game at this point. There's just so little that he could do. Just checking out the fact that he's behind in Harvesters, has been. He's got a small little group of hydras right there, but this army can easily just steamroll right over that. Or Normalist could decide just to simply milk his advantage, know the fact that he's basically on one base right now. There's very few workers. They've all been migrated over, and he hasn't built that many more. But I would definitely move in, and God, they love to just break down the back doors on these things. And I can't say that I blame them. It's a nice little shortcut, but that group of Hydras is just getting larger and larger there. And, yep, good choice. And, oh no, all the poor Banglings, they're all getting killed. No! Oh, they did not deserve that. Asshole. Killed all the innocent little Banglings. All they wanted to do was explode all over everything. So, wow, that definitely was a nice little pickup right there, all those Banglings. He could have just rolled right over these Hydras. But now Normalisk has to be a little bit careful, you know, he's still got a big cloud of mutas there. So there's 18 mutas versus, at this point, 15 Hydras. Just looking at the upgrades right now, I'd like to see an armor upgrade just because of the bounce. But it'd be a really tough game call on that one just because of how effective Hydras are at stomping out Mutalisks, and he's actually only really using this high yield just to get gas so he can fund more mutas. And the one thing I could recommend to both players, if either of them ever do watch this game, which I'm sure Normalisk will, is when you're at this kind of an advantage right now and you know that his army count is low, just take a minute, take a production cycle, and pump drones. Like looking at this right now, you know, even if you didn't make any of these units, you'd still be able to stop whatever he had coming at you or respond to it quick enough. And just continue to use the Mutalisks to harass. I mean, the game is basically in your court right now. You can decide what you want to do. As this cloud is 24 Mutalisks strong and 4 Spore Crawlers. I mean, again, there's just so little that they're actually going to be able to do, but now that the Hydras are in there, it's just the ever-ending game of, do I commit my mutas to these Hydras? It's like, oh, there isn't that many, and all of a sudden you realize it's like, oh my god, damage that they do to you, and your Mutalisks are just exploding in the air. So Hydras can do a good job at shutting down the mutas, and now we just see more, you know, Harvesters coming out, and that income gap is just going to blow, you know, Ren right out of the water. We look at it, he's collecting 40-50% more minerals, he's triple the gas production right now, he's just finally taken a third extractor. And just looking at this right now, it seems almost impossible that Ren could come back unless he has just an epic miracle victory where for some reason, you know, these Zerglings tank every one of the Banglings, and then the Hydras melt the Zerglings before they can get to them, and then the mutas just happen to attack. Oh god, there's so many mutas. Just happen to attack right here with 5 queens and all the Hydras still intact. But right now, I don't see that happening. I see a massive steamroller of just a biological fist about to weigh down upon Ren. And actually losing a decent number of mutas, you need to pull back and not overcommit to that right there. And, oh god, that is beautiful placement. Ren did a good job placing those troops right there, but again, it's just really not going to be enough. And, oh, the Hydralisks just doing a really good job showing their worth by cleaning up a lot of those Zerglings and Banglings, but that Mutacloud is just so large, at that point the bounce just rips everything apart. That's critical mass, it almost doesn't matter what you have at that point. And right now, we have no army, you know, very little army composition for Ren. There's an Infestor out here, and if he could have fungal growth, maybe something good might have come from that. But just looking at the income tab right now, 10 to 50, and there's mutas in the sky, there's a few Zerglings just, you know, eating stuff on the ground. There's just so little that can be done, and there goes, where's the fungal growth? Oh, you missed your fungal growth. Ah, oh, lame sauce. So now that the fungal growth is out of the way, Ren will GG, and that is going to be this game. So, good job, Normalisk. And he actually titled this replay as the most epic comeback ever, and I can kind of see where he's coming from right there, because there was a point at about 7 minutes in the game where Ren could have ended this just with some heavy Zergling aggression, but anytime that he might have had the advantage and that part of it, he just never really pushed forward. I don't know how I lost with Hydras, I don't know how I came back, but this ended a 5-game losing streak. You know, Ren, with your Hydras, it's easy that you didn't win with them. You never really committed your Hydras to an attack. They stayed back here in the base, which is actually the purpose that the Mutalisks serve, and then your Hydras are cleaned up by cheap little Zerglings and Banglings, and your Infestors were out too late. If you could have fungal growth that pack of mutas and just wiped them out with the Hydras, I can guarantee you that Normalisk would have been facepalming hardcore, and that just would have been GG for him. But You were never able to do that. He was able to expand and take the economic advantage and just slowly bleed you dry. So, thank you everyone for watching. This is Malachi Cowtipper signing out.